Well, shooters and reloaders and three circles passengers and members, our topic today is powder funnels. And you know, we all use funnels, right? Like this kind of thing to pour powder back into our powder cans. And we've all got a collection of these plastic funnels made by Lee and RCBS, and they're okay. And we've used the Lyman all-in-one funnels that look like this on the scale, but also has a funnel on it, so it's all in one. We've used those for good effect. But after a while, we all seem to want to get something better. Something that'll let us put our funnel onto our cartridge case and it fits real well, and the powder runs in through there real well, and there's no powder getting hung up, no powder leaking, all of that. So we get these kits in our mind, and what I've done is gone ahead and added these to my funnel collections because we want something better. So let's look at three of the common ones available today and see which one that you might wind up being interested in. This one here is the Frankford Arsenal, and it costs like $26, and for that you get a nice aluminum funnel that's pretty heavy duty, and you get a total of 8 of these inserts that fit the necks of cartridge cases certain sizes. And the nice thing about the Frankford Arsenal, it starts with a 17 to 20 caliber insert and goes all the way up to 350 caliber. So you're a 350 legend and this kind of thing. But it's got 8 inserts and all the popular sizes are there. Now the cost of the Frankford Arsenal is $26. So very reasonably priced, and it has a nice case that has hard plastic for the storage. And the way it works is there's a rubber O-ring that allows the inserts to go into the main body of the funnel, and you've got a funnel that fits the neck of cartridge cases. So $26. The next one we'll discuss will be the Hornady. The nice thing about the Hornady is they give you a nice storage box also, but instead of the hard plastic, because these are threaded into the main funnel, these inserts, they use a kind of a photographic foam that's been cut to fit these inserts. And there you see the threaded inserts. Now the nice thing about the Hornady is that it has 9 inserts, not 8, not 6, but 9. However, they don't give you a 17-20 caliber. The funnel is a very large target and it's light, but some say it might be flimsy because you can actually bend it by squeezing on it. Not that we would do that, but the Hornady is another nice system, and you see it's threaded. So you take, for instance, the 22 caliber and it threads right onto the main funnel body, and then your 22 caliber centerfire rifle case will fit into the insert, and there you have it. The cost on the Hornady is $41. Now the most expensive one is the RCBS, which is $95, and it has a nicely machined aluminum main funnel, and the inserts are precision fit for the cartridge cases. We'll see how precision fit that is. But the way these work is they're threaded also. So here you see the 22 caliber, and it's threaded in there. Nice knurling to allow the threading, and that's a nice unit there. Smaller target, but we'll see it's not really a problem, because when you have your pen from the scale, whether it's digital scale or a balance beam scale. Now, the spec on this is that this is the fastest funnel. If you dump powder in there, the powder will slide through quickly, the quickest of all. And other videos have tested that. It's not important to me, so we're not going to do that. But I like to pour in a nice steady rate that is less than the rate where it drains out of the funnel, so you don't get any bridging. So notice that it fits your pens nicely. Same as the Frankford Arsenal, you see the pen just fits right in there. And as for Hornady, you just throw the whole pen in there. It's so big that the whole pan will go in. But the idea, again, is not to try and dump all the powder in there so that it can bridge, but rather pour the powder into the funnel at a rate that's a little bit slower than the drain rate. And then you can't go wrong. That's a good policy, so the speed of drain really doesn't matter. Now, what's important to me for precision reloading is the fit of the funnel onto the neck of the case. Now, for best effect, we also want a loading tray, because this is a system that includes a loading tray. The loading tray must hold the case so that it doesn't wobble all over the place. For instance, this is not what we want. You want a loading tray where the case goes into the loading tray and there's not a lot of movement. And the RCBS multiple reloading tray happens to really prioritize the 223 556 NATO. So you see, not a lot of movement. And then the next little compartments that the reloading tray has is for 308 Winchester, also 243. Because see, you put that in there, and again, you don't get a lot of wobble. And that's important for our funnel system. So first, let's look at the Frankford Arsenal funnel with the 224 insert, good for the 223 Remington or 556 NATO. Set that on there. And you see there's a little bit of wobble of that funnel on the case. So that's not the most ideal. When you put it on there, you want it to be straight. And sure, you can get it to sit kind of straight. There it is. You go ahead and put the powder into that case, and then you want to put it on to the next one and have it sit squarely there also. And you see, you can get it to sit squarely, but it's also possible for it to get knocked out of kilter, as you see. So we'd rather see it tend to want to stay on there. So this will work fine, but it's not quite as ideal. Now, looking at the Hornady with the 22 caliber insert on the 223 case, and look at that. It goes right to square, and it wants to stay there. Notice the whole case is moving in the reloading tray. The funnel is staying square to the case. And after we charge that one, we put it on the next one. And you don't have to fidget with it to get it to be square. It just wants to go there. So we go ahead and charge that one, put it on the third one. And it goes to square and it stays there. That's pretty nice. We like the Hornady Okay, now for the more expensive RCBS funnel. The 224 insert is in place. Let's go ahead and put it on. And you notice it moves in tandem with the case. Stays square to the case. That's actually what we want. So the powder charge goes in, and then we move it to the next case, and it self-aligns, and it's holding the alignment. Now the third one, you see how it moves in tandem with the case? That's what you want for precision reloading. So the RCBS and the Hornady pass with flying colors on the 223 using their 224 inserts. Now let's look at the 24 caliber, which is very popular for long range shooting. And again, you see the RCBS tray doesn't give a lot of wobble to your 308 and 243 cases. So we'll put let's do the Frankford Arsenal first. And see, it has the same kind of wobble that the 22 caliber exhibited. Well, we go ahead and get it square like that, and then pour our powder charge, and then go to the next one and get it square so it doesn't have to wobble. That can work out quite nicely, but again, it requires paying attention to that wobble a little bit. Now I'll go with the Hornady. And there, you see a little bit of wobble, but it wants to come back to center. So that's not bad. There. Doesn't wobble on the case as much, but still, that's not too bad. Okay, let's try the RCBS, and here you go. Look at that. That fits like a glove. There's no, it doesn't even want to, it doesn't go off axis even 1 degree from the case. So we put the powder in, go to the next one, and look at that, it is absolutely square. For the 24 caliber, the RCBS is like a winner. We have to release it from the neck. I really like that one. Now for the 308, 30-06, 243, I actually made this reloading tray specially for this demonstration. So what we got here is 308 cases, and you see there's very little play in the loading block, very stable, which is what we want. Now, the Frankford Arsenal. It sits on there pretty well, better than the 24 caliber and 22 caliber. But there you go. So then you go to the next one and get it stable in the tray, and it's square. Go to the next one and it's square. So the Frankford Arsenal is looking pretty good for a $21 kit for 308 caliber. Now the Hornady. Very similar to the Frankford Arsenal. Oh yeah, that's nice and square. It moves a couple degrees, but that's not bad. To go to the next one, it wants to be squared to the case, so we like that. That's not bad. $41 kit. And now the RCBS. Wow, that's like a glove in .30 caliber. Look at that. It wants to grab the case. So look at that. That just wants to just like grab right onto that neck. There it is. So then when you take the funnel off, you want to go ahead and put a finger on the case so you can lift it off nicely. That's what we want. That's nice. So they've made the RCBS to fit the common calibers for long range accuracy precision reloading to fit real well. And that's probably why they can go ahead and charge the $95 for it. They're actually competing with that 219 company or other companies that have the price ranges for funnel kits around $100. This comes in at $95, so that's not bad. Now, having evaluated these funnel kits, what's the conclusion and recommendation that we can make? And a lot of it depends on how accurate your rifle is. If you got a rifle that's shooting 1.5 MOA, then all you need is a $5 Lee or a $10 RCBS funnel like this, and all the companies make the cheap plastic funnels. Get that. That's all you need. But as your rifle shoots more and more accurately, and you start getting into where you need precision for long-range competition or hunting, and your rifle can deliver some of that to you, then you're going to start wanting to get something nicer like these kits. So I would say that for a lot of us that are shooting 1 MOA to 0.75 MOA, all you need to do is consider getting the Frankford Arsenal, which is a nice $26 solution. As you start shooting 1/2 inch and sub 1/2 inch groups, you're going to want to start getting into these, like for instance the Hornady. And if you're into competition, then I would say, or you simply want to get something better, then I would recommend the RCBS funnel kit. So good reloading and good shooting all of you out there. This is Fortune Cookie 45LC coming to you from the hot lead zone. And funnel ahoy. Bye for now.